All right, this is going to be a fun one. On one of my recent videos, someone left a comment that said, you should do a smoked Pueblo slopper. I had no idea what that was, so I looked it up. And a Pueblo slopper, I guess, was invented or created in Pueblo, Colorado, or somewhere around there. It's basically an open-faced hamburger with a green chili sauce poured over it and some other things. And there's a lot of variations, but I thought that's a really good-looking burger and a neat way to present a burger, open-faced with chili sauce all over it in a bowl. So I'm not the first that's going to be doing anything like this, but I'm going to do my version of it. And that's going to start with the sauce, which is going to be mostly a green chili sauce. And to get that going, we got to roast up some vegetables. Now, my oven is preheating to 450 degrees right now because I really want to get some nice color on these and get them nice and soft so we can make this sauce, because this sauce is actually going to be used tomorrow. I'm going to grill the burger up tomorrow, but I want that sauce to have an entire night to come together in the refrigerator after we finish making it. Then we'll reheat it, and that will top our burger. I'm not even sure what to call this. It's going to be some kind of slopper, but we'll see. I'll come up with something. So I have a sheet tray right here, and I just want to start getting my veggies on here. First is one medium red onion that I've just roughly chopped up into big pieces. Just break that up on here. It doesn't really matter if they come completely apart, all the little pieces, because all of this stuff is going to go in a food processor after it's roasted off. I've also got 5 tomatillos with their paper removed. If you've never used a tomatillo, it's got great flavor, and it comes with sort of a paper wrapping on the outside. That's how it grows. You just remove that. Got a couple poblano chilies, a couple pasilla chilies. I just want to hit this with a little bit of olive oil. We'll toss everybody around. Not going to do any seasoning right now because we're going to be doing a lot of seasoning when we build the sauce. And we're probably going to be roasting these off for about 30 minutes. We'll check them after about 20 minutes. If we need to turn them, we will. And remember, every oven is different, so it's more about how it ends up looking, that color. Is it getting a little bit of that darkness to it? Is it softening nicely? That's what we want. It might take 45 minutes in your oven. Heck, it might take 45 in mine. The vegetables are different too, so we'll have to see. And that's what I mean about this being a fun one. It's kind of an experiment. I don't have a real recipe that I put together for this. I just kind of am thinking, this is what I want to use. We're going to go for that flavor and see how it turns out. Let's go ahead and get these in. All right, we've been going for just 25 minutes here, and you can see we've got some really nice color, and these are softened nicely. Now, the peppers, the poblanos and the pasillas, I'm going to put into a Ziploc bag and leave it open and let those sort of steam so we can get the skin off of there. Really, if you have a paper bag, that's better, but I don't have a small paper bag laying around, so I'm just going to improvise. Get these off of here. The rest of these look great. The tomatillos look great. The onions look great. So we're going to let those peppers sort of steam in that bag for about 15 minutes, and then we will clean those up and start building the sauce. So our peppers have been sort of resting in this bag for about 15 minutes. I'm going to transfer them to a tray right here so we can clean them because it can get a little messy. And all I want to do is just sort of work that skin off of here, that sort of outer skin that's charred. If little bits stay, do not worry about it. And we are going to be leaving the seeds and everything except the stems today. We'll be taking the stems off. As I said, it can get kind of messy, so gloves help, a tray helps, and it actually does work a little better in a paper bag I've found, but I just don't have one right now, and I really wanted to do this video. You can see how tender it gets. We're already splitting open there. You can see the seeds inside. And if you can, while you're doing it, you might as well just pull out the stem if you can at that point. All right, this is good enough for me. Let's start building the sauce. All right, I have my little food processor out here, and we're gonna get all of those things we roasted up, plus some garlic, plus a can of tomatoes. I'm gonna be using a 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes with the juice in here. That's gonna help build some body with this sauce. And get all our goodness in here. Chilies, our tomatillos, our onions. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic here. And before I add the diced tomatoes, I want to pulse this and break this down. Scrape our sides down. Oh, it is smelling great. All right, we have no seasoning in this yet. Nothing's going to be added like that until we get it in the saucepan and start simmering it down, but I want to take a little taste here. See how we're doing. Just that little bit of roasting in the oven brings such great flavor to this, and you could also do that out on the grill, no problem. Now I'm going to add my tomatoes in here. I am liking the looks of that. All right, let's get our saucepan out here and start cooking this sauce. All right, I have my saucepan out here in my induction burner so we can see it more easily. First thing I'm going to add is our chili mixture that we just pureed in the food processor. Try and get this in here without spilling. Next up, a teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of chili powder. I'm using an ancho chili powder, and half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I'm also going to add about a cup of vegetable stock. And I'm going to turn this on to a power level 3, which is sort of a medium-low on a flame burner. And I just want to stir this all together. You might hear the fan from the induction burner. And our purpose here to heat this up and simmer it is to thicken it a bit, reduce it, and intensify those flavors. We will taste it and adjust for seasoning as necessary. So we're just going to let this come up to a simmer now. And as soon as we start bubbling, I'm going to turn it down to 2. You can see we're just starting to get some bubbles there. The induction burner can heat up very quickly. I wish I could remember the name of the person in the comment who told me about the Pueblo Slopper. I'll try and look it up and add it in here if I can, but man, thank you so much for telling me about that. That looks terrific, and I'm really thinking this burger is going to taste terrific. Now, as this is about to come up to a simmer, I want to add some hot sauce, and this is just totally optional, but if you want to bring some more heat to this or some more flavor with your favorite hot sauce, go ahead. That's what I'm going to do. I'm using Woo's hot sauce. I just really love this stuff. And I'm going to give it, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon in here. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover this, turn the heat down to 1 so it's just barely heating, and let this go for probably 20 or 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and check it. All right, it's time to check this green chili sauce, and I'm also going to taste it and we'll adjust for seasoning. Oh, it's looking good. And again, I'm on power level 1, which would be the equivalent to low on a flame burner, very low. All right, let's see how we're doing here. That's really good. Needs a little salt, just a good pinch. I'm also going to add a little bit of honey to balance this out. I always find that's a nice thing when you're doing sort of a spicier, warmer dish. I'm just going to add some of this winter white honey. It's very thick, maybe like a good teaspoonful. Another taste with a fresh spoon. That's really, really nice. I like this a lot. I think this is going to go great topping that open-faced hamburger we're going to be making tomorrow. And we'll also be putting some cheese there, a couple other things on the side with this presentation. So this is going to simmer like this for about 10 more minutes with the lid off, just so it reduces slightly, because it's pretty thick. I like this consistency. Then it's going to cool down. It's going to go in a bowl in the refrigerator, and we'll use it tomorrow after we grill up our burger. All right, the Weber kettle is fired up. I have some red oak on there. I'm using the Mallory firewall to create 2 zones. Have the Mallory M1 cast iron grate. I'm going to salt and pepper these burgers, get them on indirect for probably about 15-20 minutes. Then I'm going to sear them off. And why 2 burgers, you wonder? Because this is going to be a double slopper. That's what I decided. We'll come back in about 15 minutes and sear these off. All right, we've been going about 20 minutes, and the kettle's about 300 degrees, which is what I was expecting, but it's time to sear these burgers, and if we need to, we'll give them some more indirect time to get to temp after that. All right, let's move these back indirect and check their temp. Got about 135, 136, about 140 on that one. So I want to give these about 5 minutes more indirect till I get to that 155, 160, which is the temp I like my burgers at. And once they're done, I'll see you inside. All right, I have my chili sauce heating up on the stove so it's nice and piping hot. And I have a toasted brioche bun bottom here in this dish. This is how we're gonna build this double slopper. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. I decided to make it my own by doing a double. I've got those 2 1/3 pound patties that we smoked up and seared off. So I wanna get one burger on here first. And I've got some strips of pepper jack. Other burger on here. And now for our chili sauce. Going right over the top. I mean, it's going to smother it. That's the whole idea of this. In fact, I think in the original, they make a pork chili. So it actually has pork in it. Want to get some more pepper jack on top here. So we can get nice and melty. A little more sauce on top here. Got some avocado to go around the side. And again, this is my version of this. You could make this and put anything you want on it. Got some red onions there. I'm gonna put some cilantro around this side. And there we have it, the double slopper. I'm really glad I saw that comment because it kind of got my mind working once I looked at the original slopper, the Pueblo slopper, and I liked the suggestion about smoking the burgers. And then, you know what? We came up with this. So let's dive in. So if you haven't guessed, this is a knife and fork burger. It's open-faced, so we're just going to dive in here. Let's see. I want to make sure I get some of that chili, cheese, everything on the first bite here. Here we go. Hey, it's a good burger, but that chili all over this is fantastic, and it's just fun to eat like this. I'm a big green chili fan, so that's why I just loved this idea, and it's working out super. You also get that bun at the bottom, cheese. It's kind of like all the things in the burger submersed in chili. I try to read every comment that's left on my videos, and this is why, because sometimes someone has a great suggestion or just something I've never heard of that turns out to be a tasty and fun video.